It's great to welcome in Hilton Head High's baseball coach, Joel Klock, but in for another reason. He uses his mental performance genius, I'm sure, on his players, but we want to talk about expanding that to your athletes, to all of that. You've got a seminar coming up.
Yes, I do.
Let's get that off the table first, and then we'll take it from there.
For sure.
Coming up for free.
Yes.
I mean, all these athletes have their team, and their team usually includes a mental performance person. We hear the golfers talk about it all the time.
Yep.
Football and basketball players now talk about it. Baseball players, I'm sure, too. They have a mental performance coach. That's what you kind of specialize in.
Correct.
And you're doing a free seminar. Tell us about it.
Absolutely, yeah. So on the 28th of January, we're going to be down at the Beach House in Coligny from 1 to 3 or 1 to 2:30. 2:30 to 3 is going to do a little Q&A.
Okay.
Just trying to provide some opportunities for people to learn what is mental performance, to learn some skills, some different strategies and tricks to be able to handle those things that we all deal with in performance. So.
Okay, what is it? I mean, mental performance, the way I hear you kind of state it, it would also apply to the classroom and apply to life.
It applies to everybody.
Apply to everything.
It applies to everybody.
Well, give me something for
Sure.
mental performance.
Yeah, mental performance is simply just developing those mental strategies to perform at the consistent high level that you can. Just as a athlete may go to a physical coach or a coach for the physical side, maybe they go to a strength and conditioning coach, maybe they go to a skill-specific coach. That's what a mental performance coach can do as well. All athletes, performers deal with the same sort of things. Maybe it's handling anxiety or stressors, pressures, whatever it may be. We just help to provide a system to go to when you need to go to it.
I was going to say, get me in the zone.
Correct.
That's what guys are always talking about it.
Yeah.
What's a good tool for? Give me an example of a good tool a person can use to get into the zone and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds so simple because mental performance really isn't rocket science. It's just a simple tool, but breathing, like simply learning how to correctly breathe and go to it. So easily you can lower your heart rate and kind of bring oxygen to the brain to think a little bit more clear, simply with a good breathing technique. Maybe it's a 5x5 breathing technique. Inhale for 5, hold for 5, exhale for 5, hold for 5, just to kind of get your body and your mind in one.
And that's an exercise, isn't it? Because
Absolutely.
it's something you don't want to have to think about in the moment. You want to be able to just do it.
Yes, and that's exactly it, is to be able to be proactive with this. You know, we don't want to go and work with an athlete when they've already kind of gotten past that and struggled. Let's kind of build it up beforehand so that when we get there, we know how to handle it.
And we all see the athletes who have taken that step and who have gone that far. What kind of examples of people do you use in showing off what works?
Yeah, I mean, Kobe is such a great example. The mental strength, the mental toughness that he can kind of provide. But you look at any of these golfers. Anything that you watch in sport, you can flip it on, you can see certain things. I love listening to certain interviews of guys post-game. They talk about what they're doing. There was a big leaguer this past year who struggled kind of with some things mentally, was sent down, got brought back up, and he talked about really 3 major things. Controlling the things that he can control, being in the present moment, and having a process to go to. And that was huge. So I share that with all of our athletes. This
is great stuff. You've got a website, klockmentalperformance.com, where folks can find out more about your work.
Yes.
You've got a baseball season coming up.
We do, yes.
Talk about, you're obviously going to use this with your kids.
Yes.
And do you think it'll help?
Absolutely, yeah. We start in just a couple of weeks. January 31st is our first official practice.
Wow.
We got a good group of guys out there and good coaching staff to work with. So it's nice that they can kind of take some of the physical aspect and I kind of work on the mental side of things with some guys. And I think it's really going to help us and try and compete for a regional championship this year. Yeah,
pitching, hitting, and throwing and all of that. That the physical part of it. But you do really have to be mentally ready, don't you?
Yes.
And it seems like we're seeing more and more of it. Again, usually it costs a whole lot of money to get involved in that, and you've got that side of it too. But you're going to do a free seminar to kind of introduce folks, and again, that's coming up Saturday the 28th from 1 to 2:30 or 3, or it may go crazier than that.
It may exactly.
At the Beach House at Coligny. Great chance for folks to kind of stick their toe in the water if they've got a younger kid, maybe to do that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you're a 10-year-old Little League baseball player or somebody working in sales, we all deal with performance anxieties and things like that.
Boy, we do.
And it's not necessarily where you have to have something wrong. I think it's such a...
Yeah, it's like you say, proactive.
Be proactive, right? You don't have to be
Indeed.
sick to get better. That's what we like to say. So.
I like that. Joel Klock, mental performance coach and Hilton Head High baseball coach. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
We'll have more of the WHHI Daily News right after this.